George Kambosos says Teofimo Lopez is going to all these events like a groupie and promises to expose him. Let's talk about it.
Push the weight in no flex. Flex the live is 1 in the 6. Fit the runner boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon. Motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. George Kambosos has been ready. I would say that he's getting ready, but he's been ready. How many times has this fight been postponed? Like 3 or 4? It's ridiculous. 6 times? Something like 6, something like that. Boxing scene. Link will be in the description. Lopez going to all these events like a groupie. I'll expose this fraud. Unbeaten lightweight contender George Kambosos is prepared to head to the United States for his mandatory fight with WBO, IBF, WBA, and WBC franchise champion Teofimo Lopez. After numerous postponements, the fight will finally take place November 27th at the Hulu Theater in New York's Madison Square Garden. Kambosos and Lopez were initially scheduled to fight back in June, with the bout being postponed after Lopez tested positive for COVID-19. Let me stop right there for a second. I don't believe you. ESPN talked about you being in Italy. Then we hear something about COVID, or was it vice versa? Doesn't matter, because the big question was, wait a minute, was you in Italy when you caught COVID, or did you have COVID and go to Italy? Either way, it was impossible. So, yeah, that part. Triller Fight Club, who won the promotional rights to the IBF purse bid, changed the dates several times. Y'all remember that? It wasn't too long ago. With Triller eventually defaulting on the fight. In other words, Tia wasn't worth what they thought. Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, who submitted the second highest bid, quickly took over the promotional rights. The bout will now be streamed on DAZN. There's plenty of bad blood between the two boxers. At my gym, we put up a photo of us at the face-off, Kambosos told us. I looked into the eyes of the soulless kid who was on a leash. I saw that he can't do anything by himself. That's why I closed his eyes, because I don't need to look into his eyes. I saw what I saw in the face-off, and that's why he's never been the same since then. Wow, George is talking big right now. Kambosos has been out of the ring since beating Lee Selby in October of last year, and Lopez has not seen action since claiming the biggest win in his career in a decision over Vasily Lomachenko, also in October. In the last few months, Lopez has been ringside at several high-profile events, including this past weekend at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, to watch Canelo Alvarez stop Caleb Plant to become the undisputed champion at 168 pounds. Undisputed. You like how that sounds? Undisputed. Canelo actually did something. Undisputed champion at 168 pounds. Kambosos ridiculed Lopez, claiming the unbeaten puncher is acting like a groupie at some of those events. I'm living in his head rent-free, and that's why he's doing so many stupid things, Kambosos said. He's smoking, drinking, and eating rubbish. He's going to all these events like a groupie, following his favorite band. That's not the behavior of a champion. He says his body is his temple, but he's a fraud, and I'm ready to expose him. That is the article. Here's my opinion. I feel Kambosos on 100% of what he's saying as far as him being a groupie, because he's been in the public eye, but he hasn't done anything. He's been in the public eye and done everything but fight. This is Josh Taylor's opinion. That little rat Teofimo parading in on Canelo's with his Mickey Mouse WBC what the F brass neck, embarrassing. He said, what a F in brass neck, embarrassing. The guy's so desperate, it's unreal. There's only 2 undisputed champions with all the belts, fact. And Josh Taylor is one of them. Josh Taylor became undisputed at 140. I remember talking about it in the past. Teofimo said he would like to meet Josh Taylor at a catch weight and have undisputed versus undisputed. Well, here's the thing, Teofimo. You're not undisputed. There's a dispute. You have a franchise title. They say it in the article. You have a franchise status. It's not a title. It's a status. I don't know why they made it a belt. That's a major part of the confusion. The major part of the confusion is they made up this status and put it in the form of a belt. It should have been like a cup or a trophy, a bracelet, a helmet for the rest of these retards to wear. Make it a crown. Make it a baseball cap. Make it a jacket, like in golf. Do something. You guys made it a strap, and now here we are. People are visual. People are saying, hey, man, Teofimo, he's really undisputed. He's not. He's not. They paraded around with that analogy for, 2 weeks? And Mauricio Sulaiman really had to explain it. Vasyl Lomachenko breaks his silence and says, no, he's not. He has a belt that I gave up. I gave up the real belt to Devin Haney, and he has a belt that just a second ago they said you couldn't lose it in the ring. But Mauricio bent the rules for Teofimo. Wonder why that happened. So then he says he wants to fight Josh Taylor at a catchweight. Huh? 2 undisputed versus each other? No, you're not. Josh Taylor versus Canelo will be 2 undisputed versus each other. And don't tell me that couldn't happen. You know why? Canelo's a franchise champion, right? So that means he can go up and down and wait. If he wants to suck all the air out of the room and drain down to 140, he would do so if he wanted to. Can't make 140, but I'm just saying that as an example. Or Josh Taylor wants to eat cheesecake every day and go up to 168. He could do so. Wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying that as an example. Because according to the rules, as a franchise status, you can go anywhere and wait. Which is why I don't know why there was more than one in the first damn place. But whatever. George Kambosos just called Teofimo a groupie. And it's time everybody starts calling them out on their nonsense. And when I say them, I do mean Teofimo Sr. and Jr. You see, what's dangerous is you guys put out a lot of things and think that people don't hear it, think that people don't remember it. But if it's on video, that means it's on record. And shout out to my brother Xavier for sending me this. Just watch and listen.
They're so retarded, man. I mean, nobody knows shit about boxing, man. Like Triple G and Canelo and all these guys, they're bums, bro. They're bums. You know what I'm saying? They're bums, bro.
No, but
because
let me ask you.
they gotta go in the inside to throw their punches and connect. Why you think Floyd destroyed Canelo? Nah? Because Canelo's an inside fighter. Lomachenko's an inside fighter. All these guys, Triple G can't do nothing unless he's inside. All these guys are inside fighters. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you stand tall and you're faster than them, you're quicker than them, you're smarter than them, and you know what they're gonna do before they do it, they freeze. That's what we call it. The phrase is freeze.
Push the weight and no flex, flex. Push the weight and no flex.
But one of these kids is doing his own thing. Now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game.
Hilarious. 3 years ago, that was an interview with Teofimo Sr. and Teofimo Lopez Jr. was there, 3 years younger. He looked like a kid up under his daddy's armpits. And he referred to Triple G and Canelo as bums. All right? He referred to them as bums. he said, why do you think Floyd Mayweather beat them so easy? So it seems that he gave props to Floyd and he discredited Triple G and Canelo. Well, again, here we are 3 years later, and your son is in the ring. Well, not in the ring. Your son is standing next to Canelo when he hasn't done anything in almost a year. With all of his belts that he won, including the franchise status, standing next to Canelo, the man that you discredited, who actually went out and did something worth talking about. He became undisputed. He became undisputed. What did you do? You talked a good one. You did beat Vasyl Lomachenko. You did. But you know boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. And what have you done since then? Get everyone's hopes up 6 times and postpone a fight with a guy, no disrespect to George, with a guy that no one over here barely even heard of or cared about. But you see, you pissed this guy off so bad. Look, you better go in there and whoop this guy, Teofimo. Because this guy ain't coming in here to F around with you. He's coming out here, he's going to try and take your head off. Now, will he be successful? I don't know. I don't know. But you've marketed yourself. And it's funny, I remember you telling Devin Haney and Bill Haney, oh, yeah, you live and die off that strap. Something you said fairly recently to them, to their face. I played it on my show. I'm surprised you ain't got the belt with you right now. You said it twice. Well, Devin has gone to several fights since his last one. I don't think he walked around with the WBC strap, the one that Vasyl Lomachenko gave to him out of fear of fighting him. You show up to the Canelo Alvarez event with all of your belts. I've never seen anything like that. No one has seen anything like that, and that's embarrassing. Standing next to a guy that your father has ridiculed. And silence is co-signing. Because when your father said that 3 years ago, you were sitting right there. Now you're taking pictures with him. The difference is he's actually accomplished something. Canelo actually accomplished something. You haven't. You were supposed, I'm talking about undisputed. You've done some things. And I'm not saying that you can't fight. What I'm talking about is your moves outside of the ring, which is prohibiting us to see your action inside the ring. And we know that actions speak louder than words, Teofimo. Stop embarrassing yourself. This was comical. Please look at Canelo Alvarez's face and tell me if this man looks uncomfortable or not.
But one of these kids is doing his own thing. Now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game.
Standing there like, why is this man standing next to me? Get this kid away from me. I've actually worked for this. He doesn't reserve the right to stand next to me. Ridiculous. You got to do something, man. This is embarrassing, Tio. And you better not get in here and lose to George Lopez. Did y'all notice he got a Brooklyn shirt on? Oh, he's ready. Now, again, is he going to back it up? I don't know. We're going to see. But if he does beat George Kambosos, the only direction for him to go to would be in the direction of Devin Haney. Granted, Devin Haney gets past his next opponent. That should be the next fight. I don't want to hear it. You guys need to cut it out, man. Seriously. This behavior is ridiculous. So salute to George Kambosos. You know, let's see what he can do. And nice try, Tio Senior. But the video and audio's out. You caught it. Bronx on deck.
Move!